themselves up to fight to the death.
On the fifth day, his patience ran out. Xerxes had a throne set up on a nearby hill. From several hundred feet above, he ordered his troops into action. From their vantage point, the Greeks could only see a few thousand. But this was merely the advance party for a force of 10,000 Medes which wound round behind the mountain. Leonidas held back his Spartans and ordered the Greek troops forward. The Battle of Thermopylae had begun. It would not be the walkover that Xerxes imagined. August 480 BC. The Greek army led by King Leonidas and 300 Spartans is facing a Persian army of 250,000 men. The Persian king Xerxes watched in disbelief as 5,000 Greek troops formed up in the valley entrance. They lined up in phalanx formation. The phalanx was a forest of spears.
The commander would signal for the push, rear ranks pushing forward and pressing their shields against the backs of the men in front, and you pushed against the forces opposing you and literally tried to shove them backwards and drive them off the field. They trained their whole lives for this moment.
This phalanx was 18 men deep and 64 across. Their shields overlapped like the scales on a serpent's back, virtually impenetrable. The first three ranks lowered their spears and rolled forward towards the Medes. In contrast to the Greeks, the Medes were lightly armed. They carried light wickerwork shields and spears. Before they advanced, the Mede archers fired a volley into the phalanx. Leonidas sent in more Greeks to reinforce the phalanx, pressing their weight into the backs of their fellow troops. Volley after volley of arrows filled the sky.
The Greek infantry had a 3-foot shield. The shields were bronze-faced with maybe 2 inches of oak underneath that. So if you want to think of that as a kitchen cutting board. And how hard you can whack a cutting board with a battle axe and you can't break it.
As the Greeks began to tire, Leonidas sent in his Spartan warriors. They advanced in a phalanx formation as the exhausted Greeks ran back.
As they would advance, they would be talking to each other and inspiring each other, encouraging each other to advance while these other people are advancing towards you. I mean, as each step got closer and closer, the terror must have been unbelievable.
The highly trained Spartans slaughtered all in front of them. The Medes saw that their own weapons were useless and in desperation began grabbing at the Spartan spears. Now the Spartans drew the xiphos and the real butchery began.
Are you hungry? Are you tired? Are you thirsty? Are you wounded? It doesn't matter. You're a warrior and you fight.
The confined space made it impossible for the Persians to take advantage of their superior numbers. They couldn't pack enough men into battle against this unrelenting killing machine.
Combat in those days was all hand-to-hand. Nobody shot anybody, no smart bombs came in. If you were going to kill the enemy, he was going to be right in your face and trying to kill you.
Wave after wave of Xerxes' warriors perished as they tried to penetrate the Spartan shield wall. Leonidas joked Xerxes has plenty of men, but no soldiers. But the Greeks took casualties as well. As the battle moved into the second day, the Persians could make no headway. They were simply not prepared for this kind of fighting, far removed from the wide open plains of the east, where cavalry, chariots and light infantry could decide the outcome. Sitting on his hillside throne, Xerxes became more and more agitated, jumping to his feet every so often, like a spectator at a football match.
Xerxes just said, hey, you guys go out there and take that pass, kick these guys out of the way. And these lightly armed Medes went up against the heavily armed Greeks, and the heavily armed Greeks kicked their butt.
Xerxes decided to play his trump card and send in the Immortals. There might have been hundreds of thousands of soldiers on the battlefield, but now the combat was between two fighting elites. 10,000 Persian Immortals against what remained of 300 Spartans. August 480 BC. The Spartans had held the pass at Thermopylae for nearly a day and a half. Xerxes had failed to crack their defense. Now he sent in his own personal guard, the Immortals. They were a terrifying sight. They carried bows, spears, and short daggers. But rank after rank of the elite shock troops fell in the dust.
The light-armed Persians couldn't penetrate the Greek armor, but the Greeks could penetrate them at will. And also the Greeks were trained to fight at close quarters and to come to grips at close quarters.
Nothing could shake the Spartans. Xerxes needed a miracle, and it came from an unexpected source. A Greek traitor, Ephialtes, seeing a chance to get rich quick, told Xerxes about a pathway that wound over the mountainside and came out behind the Spartans.
The name Ephialtes has entered the modern Greek language. It means nightmare in modern Greek. Ephialtes is today a nightmare.
Under cover of darkness, the Persians filed up the track and on the morning of day 3 emerged behind the Spartans. Leonidas had been outflanked. He knew this would be his last battle. To avoid unnecessary casualties, he sent most of the Greek army home. The Spartans, alongside their Theban and Thespian allies, would fight to the death.
It must have been an amazingly emotional moment as men were walking out, brave men, knowing they were going to live, while others were walking up to the front line knowing that they were going to die.
One of the Greeks had warned that the Persians had so many archers that their arrows would blot out the sun. Well, said the Spartan Dionysius, we will fight in the shade.
This was Spartan wit. And when somebody says